Hi, everyone. It is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. Welcome to IFYL, Inspirations for Your Life. Thanks so much for popping in. You'll just notice there's a QR code if you're new to IFYL. Take your phone and point it at the QR code, scan it. That'll get you over to my link tree. If you're having trouble getting to my link tree, well, just go to Believe, Believe, me, M-E, Achieve, ACHIEVE.com in your web browser, and there's lots of great stuff. But there are two things I want you to check out. Definitely, there's lots of other things, but check out John's Daily National Day video. That's something you don't want to miss. And JCM Academy TikTok. There's also a science channel. There's motivation channel. There's just a lot of stuff there, and you're going to want to check that out. And so every week, and how we do this, we start with our Saturday with day 1, and then on Friday we end with day 7. And so we are continuing on our journey with our master topic. Each day we get a little more granular into a little bit more specific area, and then we focus on that and share some tips about that. And so I want to thank our friends, colleagues, and associates that are coming back. Welcome back. Thank you so much for being here from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate you guys every single moment you're here. And we're talking about a great topic, aren't we, tonight? Our topic that we're talking about tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is how to remember. Series episode 5. All right. So we were talking a lot about memory, and we said that in life, we don't remember things, we remember moments. All right. So one of the, I'm going to say, let's say very well-known memory technique comes to us from years and years ago. It's called the Memory Palace. It's also known as the method of Loci, which means location in Latin. Roman room journey method, as some people will call it, and I've referred to it as well. And it became very popular on the BBC show Sherlock a while back. And so memory champions use the Memory Palace to achieve superhuman feats. And it's how you can remember a 296-digit number in 5 minutes or a deck of cards in 28 seconds. But it's simple enough for anyone to use. So the Greeks started with this. It was a Greek poet, Simonides of Ceos, invented the method around 500 BC. And according to the legend, Simonides was at a banquet of honored guests. During the dinner, he went outside to receive a message. When he stepped out, the roof collapsed. Yeah, that wasn't interesting. Well, that caused a moment right there. Crushed everyone inside beyond recognition. Now, Simonides was able to identify each of the mangled bodies for burial by mentally reconstructing the seating arrangement from memory. He discovered that by using locations to arrange mental imagery, the mind could remember incredible amounts of information. So how does this work? Because you might be saying, John, this sounds like crazy. Well, the technique that I shared with you the other day definitely made sense, right? And that technique, where we did the ship and we did the milk and all laid out, right? And the gallons of milk with the green caps, right? That made us remember. So this is another technique. So you can use your home. Use your work, you can use a place you park, you can use a place you take a vacation at, but someplace you know the location of, okay? And then you're going to pick different locations in that. It could be 10, 15, 20 or more, but let's just keep it simple. Let's say, for example, you want to remember, I know. I think I'm going to give you guys something interesting. You guys know that I like technology, but I think I'm going to give you the levels. Should I give you the levels of the OSI? That may or may not work with some people. Oh, well, we can try that. Okay, so we could use a mnemonic to remember the OSI level layers, right? And so the OSI model explained there's different layers setting up for the standards, from physical, data link, network, transport, session, presentation, and the application layer. So you could think of the letters and say something like, all people seem to need Make it something funny. All people seem to need what? What's funny with a D? All people seem to need days. Okay, days. And what about the P now? All people seem to need days think about the letter P. I know this might be a little hard. All people seem to need days projected. Okay, we can work with that. All people seem to need days projected. So all is the application layer, people, presentation layer, seam, session layer, to, transport layer, need, network layer, days, data link layer, and P. What was P? All people seem to need data. All people seem to need data. All people seem to need days projected. So P was projected, right? So that's one great way to do it. But let's just suppose you wanted to remember something else in your life. So what's something that you'd want to remember in your life? Maybe there's a certain formula. Well, let's take something easy. Let's say you wanted to give a speech, okay? And so the first thing I'd like you to do, you can close your eyes, you can keep them open, I don't care. And I want you to pick someplace maybe where you are. Maybe it's your home, maybe it's your work. I'm going to choose my home for right now. And I'm going to give a speech on how to become a better version of yourself. All right. So I'm home. Okay. I'm in my kitchen. And on my kitchen, the first thing I see is going to be the first component of my speech. Now, we know it's a welcome, but obviously after the welcome, to become a better version of myself, I'm going to see a great big bowl of fruit and a nice delicious smoothie. And then the words over it, maybe in colors, rainbow colors, healthy lifestyle. So you can see that healthy lifestyle with the colors, you can have it flashing. Now that in itself can help you too, right? When you have something that interacts with the location, it causes a moment, which we learned about moments yesterday, but this is a little bit more fun because you can kind of traverse through. So now you've got that. Now, the next thing in your speech that's probably important is we're going to walk from the kitchen, and maybe we're going to walk, let's say, into my office. And so on my table in the office, I can't help but notice one of the most important things that you need to become a better version of yourself is belief. But how am I going to do that? Now, so what object represents belief? Well, could be an angel, could be a cross, right? Now, just by you placing this object on your desk, so I'll use the cross, okay? And the cross is very important to me. We put the cross down on the desk, and if I have it interacting a little more, it'll make it even easier to remember. So I might have something like on the side of the cross, I see the word belief, but I see it almost like a leaf kind of just on the cross, and it's just belief. And I also see a whole bunch of leaves that are basically underneath the cross, and all the leaves say believe. All right. So you're getting the point of this, aren't you? All right. What else do you need to have a great version of yourself? So we talked about the first thing, the second thing. What else helps you? Well, I think another big thing is after we go there, I'm going to then, let's say, go to my den and sit on the couch. And before I sit on the couch, I noticed that another big important point in becoming a better version of yourself is simple, is to remember this concept. And that is, no one has the right to make you feel inferior about yourself except yourself. Okay? Except you. So what could I do to indicate that? Well, I could have a whole group of people there, and I could have this great big no over them. And that would indicate to me that no one has the right to make me feel bad about myself. Okay? So let's progress out of the den. Let's progress into the hallway. And on the hallway path, another thing that's really important is going to be what? What else? Well, I'm going to see a whole bunch of pictures on the wall. And on those pictures, I'm seeing my future. So my next topic is vision, right? The next thing that's really important besides vision. So I'm walking out. I'm now going to go to the door, okay? And just as I'm about to touch the door, I see on the door going into the garage, I see something else very interesting. And that is, what do you think that is? We talked about some very important points. What else would make me become a better version of myself? Think about that for a moment before I give it to you. What else would make me feel a better version of myself and help you become a better version of yourself? So that's going to be on the door. I actually see a box, and in the box, I see a hammer. And as I take the hammer and I tap the bell, I created action. So envisioning something is great, right? But when you take action on something, that's great. Okay. But even better than that, you have to remember to schedule it. So a lot of times, let's change this around. So before we get to the action on the door, I want to picture a big clock. And it has the time, the date, the hour, the minute, the second, the year, all that. You can set that. It's all digital. And so that's the importance of scheduling, right? That dream. So your dream, okay, basically you had a thought. The thought basically went from that dream to now being probable, okay, because you've scheduled it. Now that you've taken action on it, it becomes attainable. So as I'm walking out the door, as I close the door on the other side of the door, I notice there's that box again with that hammer and the bell. And as I bang the bell, I've taken action. And as I walk down the stairs and into my car, and just as I'm getting in my car on the passenger side of my vehicle, I see something else. I see another point to help us become a better version of ourselves. You know what that is? That is to understand that it's important to be open to the way you receive what you're looking for. So on my passenger seat, I see a whole bunch of different options, colors, but I just see the whole ability of having choices. And when I'm open to choices, then the universe will deliver to me. Because if I'm saying it has to come in this box, it has to come in this package this time, may not happen. So when it doesn't happen, you say, look, it might still be happening, but if it doesn't, then there's something even better for me. And as I park my car into the lot where I'm about to give the speech, I close the door. And as I close the door, I get ready to step away from my car. And normally I hear that little chirp that happens as soon as I walk away. It automatically locks. But instead of hearing that chirp, I hear something else. And what's said to me is going to be the concluding marks that I say in my speech. And here it is, coming from the car. Change your words, change your thoughts. Change your thoughts, change your mind, and it will, in fact, improve the quality of your life. That is what we want here today, isn't it? You just wrote your speech. Now, you don't have to spend hours rehearsing it because you know it. You get on stage. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, dignitaries, special guests. It is my privilege and honor to be with you this morning at your college to give you some insights on how you can become a better version of yourself and how everyone else that you care about can become better versions of themselves as well. What I'm going to share with you, ladies and gentlemen, is paramount because everything I say will go nowhere unless you take the action to practice what I'm going to teach you today. So in life, everyone's always saying to me, John, you had to become a better version of yourself. And I think the first thing you have to realize that before you can become a better version of yourself, you have to be healthy. Have fruits and vegetables, maybe have your smoothie, watch your carb intake, right? Log what you eat, know how you burn calories, do some exercise, some stretches. Because if you're not healthy, I don't care what you have, you're not going to have it very long. Remember, I'm walking in my home. And so that's a very, very important point. Be healthy, and you'll live a long life. Another thing you want to do to become a better version of yourself you might be asking, what is that? And I think the next thing that you need to realize is we all have crosses in our lives. And the reason things don't happen for us is because we don't believe Very similar to the hat I'm wearing this morning in front of you guys. Believe, and you will achieve. Now, I don't tell you to have belief for 1 second or just 1 minute or 1 hour. I tell you to make belief something you do on a regular basis as a habit. And if it's not a habit right now, you need to, ladies and gentlemen, keep doing it faithfully until it becomes a habit. You know what else you need to do to become a better version of yourself? What else could you do? To become a better version of yourself, you need to realize that no one has the right to make you feel inferior about yourself, except for one person, you. So if you're hanging around that crowd and they're telling you it's not good for you, maybe you got to send them a message. And if they keep doing it, might be time to ditch them and ditch that negative energy they have. And if you want your life to really change, you have to make a decision to do something. And once you've made the decision to do something, that means that it's possibly probable. You've got to schedule that to happen. And when you schedule it, it's a lot more likely that that dream is going to become reality. And then what you need to do, ladies and gentlemen, is take inspired action consistently every day. Take the inspired action. And when you do that, you will propel yourself to go even further. And ladies and gentlemen, the last thing that I want you to know to become a better version of yourself, very important, ladies and gentlemen, people in your life might walk out on you. Your friends may question you. Your family members might think you're absolutely nuts. They might think you are absolutely nuts. But you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe. For when you believe, you will achieve. And if you could just take that mantra, and remember this, ladies and gentlemen, we change our words, we change our thoughts. We change our thoughts, we will in fact improve the quality of our life. And that is what we want here today, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? I thank you so much for being so attentive. Go out and use what I've shared with you this morning. And I promise you, students, faculty, colleagues, and special guests, your life will change. Even if you don't believe your life is going to change, it will change before your eyes. Thus, becoming a better version of yourself starts with one person, you. It's got to start in your heart, in your mind, and they got to be on board with each other. And when they are, your life will become an alignment and people will be like, whoa, where did you come from? Or what happened to you? The energy is going to change. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've enjoyed this tonight. We have just demonstrated for you the Loki method, which I shared with you. And that is how to create and use your own memory palace. Now, you can use this memory palace for different things, but I recommend using one memory palace for one speech or one keynote. And pick another trip. Maybe you say, oh, John, I got to give another keynote. Fine. Pick a trip you took. Like I went to Italy. Pick that trip. And then talk about that trip. Even if it wasn't a great trip, it doesn't matter. Just pick a trip that you can encapsulate every moment and get your thought to interact with that moment. Now, if you happen to notice in my speech today, the cross came into the speech like naturally. So let your mind create, because you're going to be blown out of the water with what it can do when you try to challenge it and say, oh, wait a minute, why are you thinking that? No, accept what your mind is giving you, use it. It gave me some great tips on how to enhance my speech right while I was giving it to you. And you know what? I can give that speech again, again, again. It'll get better and better and better and better. And the fact that you know what you're going to talk about gives you confidence. You don't need to look to the back of the room. You don't need to pretend people are in their underwear. You don't need to do anything like that. You just need to use the Loki method or the Palace method. And then if you want to look out to the audience and look out to the very back wall, and everyone there will think that you're looking at them. But the truth of the matter is, you're looking at that back wall. And everyone's going to think that you're looking at them. Every student, every professor, every business person, every prospect, they're going to be on the edge of their chair, ladies and gentlemen, for more information, because you are knowledgeable. It's just that you might blunder when you go to give a speech, like, oh, I didn't practice 100 times. You don't need to practice it 100 times. Just figure out what you're going to talk about, okay? The concept, and everything's going to just kind of tie into that. Get that main point and link it to something in your memory palace. And there's so many different memory palaces you can create. Your home, your friend, your trips you took. How many buildings have you been in your life? Probably a lot. You know, you can even use the Loki method with a Zoom call. Maybe you had a Zoom call and maybe some things happened in the beginning of the call. You can even do it like that. Maybe you went to a car wash, or maybe you could talk about going to a car dealership. So you could actually use the memory palace that would be most apropos. Maybe you're going to talk about energy conservation or solar power. Well, hey, why don't we give a talk about that, but use the solar manufacturing plant I went to? That's great, right? And so if you noticed, I didn't fumble for things. I just naturally flowed through. When you have that, you show confidence. The audience then is attracted to you more. They already want to listen to you. They know your credentials. But when you are confident, when you look at that back door, when you keep talking, when you give them things to hang on the edge of their chair, oh my gosh, ladies and gentlemen, it's like they're waiting for more. And I just finished with that phrase, change your words, change your thoughts, change your mind. You will in fact improve the quality of our life. And that is what you want today, isn't it? And they're all standing up in a standing ovation. And they're like, encore, encore, encore. You go out, you leave the stage, you come back in, and you're like, I didn't really prepare an encore. But what I want to share with you right now is your life is a choice. And the choice to use your life to be the greatest person you can is your choice. You can choose, ladies and gentlemen, right now to live your life as a survivor, just getting by, just having the money. Or you can live your life as one who thrives. Now, I know a lot of you here in this audience haven't graduated yet, and some of you have. When you graduate this school, some of you are graduating this year, next year, the following year, and then the year after that. When you graduate this school and you go out into that world, everything that you learned here in this college is going to prepare you to be able to learn more. Now, the professors here did an amazing job, and they continue to train you. But they're just there to show you that you have that tool to learn anything you want. And if you embrace that and you make the decision right now, ladies and gentlemen, to be a thriver, not a survivor, you're going to create miracles in your life. People are going to be flocking around you, be like, was he a miracle worker? And you're just going to be like, speechless. And I'm telling you now, don't be speechless. Listen to what they tell you. Be humble with everything they tell you. And offer advice to support. And remember to collaborate with each other. If you can do these things, ladies and gentlemen, that I've shared with you today, your life, from the moment you step out of this facility, is going to change. It's going to change, and people younger than you and people older than you are going to be like, what did you have for breakfast? And they really don't care what you had for breakfast. They just want to know, where did you come from? Like, what did they teach you in school? Right? That's it. And I can share this with you real quickly. You know, when I went from 250 now down to 180, and I'm going down to 165. When I changed that, my energy changed. I was more confident. People see me, and I never reprimand anybody. But like when they ask me, what do you think, John? I'm like, I probably wouldn't have the bread, or I probably left the car. Well, that's just your opinion. So I live my life with passion. And if you live your life with passion and you live it with a purpose, and you decide right now that I am no longer going to be a survivor, life for me was meant for me to be a thriver. We got so much more to cover tomorrow and Friday, but I think today was probably definitely a pinnacle of the week. I hope, ladies and gentlemen, you will make the choice to love, like, and support my channel. Definitely comment below. Have you tried the Memory Palace? If you haven't, try it tomorrow. Or try it the next time you need to remember something. And if you're trying to figure out what palace to use, doesn't matter. Take the trip you just went on. It'll do two things. One, it'll help you remember, and it'll help bring those positive feelings back about the trip. And that'll get your speech to come off even better than you imagined. That's a bonus. Tag your friends, your colleagues, and your associates. Share this out with everyone you know on social media. And then be sure to go to my YouTube channel, John Space C Space MORLEY Space Serial Entrepreneur, and look for that key phrase, help keep our content free. And make the choice, ladies and gentlemen. It is your choice to pie my team and I a savory slice of watermelon, vanilla and chocolate soft cone, or an icy cold drink. Either way, we'll be grateful with those pennies and dollars. We'll invest them into new hardware, new technology, new equipment, new software, and even new facilities to give you the most jaw-dropping, motivational content to get you to change your life to a place that you never imagined was possible. You'll think you're dreaming until you pinch yourself. I'm John C. Morley, Serial Entrepreneur. Have yourself a great night. And remember to check out BelieveMeAchieve.com, because I know all of you have great stuff inside you. Make the choice, ladies and gentlemen, to apply yourself, schedule, and decide right now, I'm going to do what it takes. And no one's going to get in my way. Have yourself a great rest of your night, and I'll see you tomorrow, everyone. Take care.